The phone rang just as Emily Harper stepped out of the rain-soaked cemetery, her black dress clinging to her skin like a shroud of unresolved grief. It was an unknown number, but she answered anyway, her voice cracking from the eulogy she'd just delivered for her grandmother, Eleanor. "Miss Harper," the stranger said, his tone clipped and professional, "your grandmother left everything to you, but only if you renounce your unnatural lifestyle and marry a man within the year." Emily froze on the wet pavement, the world blurring around her as the implications sank in. She had always been the black sheep of the family, the one who dared to love women openly in a conservative Midwest town where whispers turned to judgments overnight. But this? A multimillion-dollar estate dangling like a poisoned carrot, conditioned on erasing who she was? Her mind raced back to Eleanor's stern face, the woman who had raised her after her parents' accident, always preaching family values and tradition. How could the grandmother she idolized betray her like this from beyond the grave? She hung up without a word and slumped against her car, the rain mixing with her tears. The estate included the family home in Chicago, stocks and a trust fund that could change her life, and her girlfriend Sarah's forever. But at what cost? Sarah, with her infectious laugh and unwavering support, had been by her side through every family holiday where aunts and uncles averted their eyes. Now this ultimatum threatened to unravel everything. Driving home through the stormy streets, Emily's thoughts churned. She pictured the will reading tomorrow, where her cousins, perfect, straight-laced Mark and pious Lisa, would be salivating over the inheritance. They had always seen her as the outlier, the one who chose a path that shamed the family name. Mark, with his law firm job and nuclear family, had once cornered her at Thanksgiving, hissing that her phase was disrespecting their grandparents' legacy. Lisa, married to a pastor, prayed for her soul in passive-aggressive emails. Arriving at their cozy apartment in Wrigleyville, Emily burst through the door, collapsing into Sarah's arms. "Gran left me everything," she sobbed. "But only if I leave you and marry a guy." Sarah's face paled, her hands trembling as she held Emily tighter. They had met 5 years ago at a women's rights march, bonding over shared dreams of a future free from judgment. Sarah, a teacher in a progressive school, had faced her own family's rejection when she came out, but nothing like this financial blackmail. That night they sat on the couch, a bottle of wine between them, dissecting the stranger's words. He was the executor, a lawyer named Mr. Reynolds, who claimed Eleanor had amended the will in secret months before her death from cancer. "She loved you, Emily," Sarah said softly, "but she was from a different era. Maybe she thought this would save you." Emily shook her head, anger bubbling up. "Save me? By forcing me to lie? To betray us?" The next morning at the lawyer's office downtown, the family gathered like vultures. Mark smirked as Mr. Reynolds read the will aloud, his voice echoing in the sterile room. "To my granddaughter Emily Harper, I bequeath the entirety of my estate, provided she enters into a heterosexual marriage within 12 months and maintains it for at least 5 years thereafter. Failure to comply will result in the assets being divided equally among my other grandchildren." Gasps filled the air. Lisa's eyes widened in faux sympathy. "Oh, Emily, what a burden." But Gran knew what was best. Mark leaned forward, his lawyer instincts kicking in. "This is contestable. If she doesn't comply, we can fight it." Emily sat stone-faced, her heart pounding. Inside, a storm raged. Accept and lose Sarah, or refuse and watch the family fortune slip away, potentially leaving her and Sarah struggling in a city that demanded more than their modest salaries could provide. As the meeting ended, Emily excused herself to the bathroom, splashing water on her face. Staring at her reflection, she saw the woman Eleanor had tried to mold: smart, ambitious, but always falling short in the normal department. She had hidden her first crush on a girl in high school, enduring therapy sessions her grandmother insisted on. Now this final test felt like a cruel joke. Back in the conference room, Mr. Reynolds pulled her aside. "Your grandmother confided in me. She struggled with your orientation, but she believed in tough love." Emily's fists clenched. "Tough love? This is extortion." He shrugged. "The clock starts now." Driving back with Sarah, who had waited outside, Emily vented. "They all think I'll cave. That I'll choose money over us." Sarah squeezed her hand. What do you want? Emily didn't know. The inheritance could fund Sarah's dream of opening a community center for LGBTQ youth, something they had talked about endlessly. But marrying a man, even for show, felt like selling her soul. That evening, an unexpected call came from Aunt Clara, Eleanor's sister. Emily, dear, your grandmother meant well. Think of the family legacy. Clara's voice dripped with concern, but Emily detected the underlying greed. Legacy? Like disowning me for who I love. She hung up, but the seed of doubt was planted. What if refusing meant not just losing money, but fracturing the family further? As night fell, Emily lay awake beside Sarah, the weight of the decision pressing down. She imagined a life of wealth without authenticity, versus one of love amid struggle. The conflict tore at her, each option laced with pain. Tomorrow she would have to start choosing sides. The days blurred into a haze of arguments and soul-searching. Emily buried herself in work at the marketing firm, but her mind wandered to the ultimatum. Sarah suggested they consult a lawyer of their own, someone who specialized in LGBTQ rights. Maybe we can challenge the condition as discriminatory, she said over breakfast, her eyes hopeful. They met with Ms. Torres, a sharp attorney in a sleek loop office. This clause is archaic, Torres declared, scanning the will. It might violate public policy against discrimination based on sexual orientation, but contesting it could take years, and the estate might be frozen in the meantime. Emily nodded, her stomach nodding. Years? They couldn't afford that. Sarah's school faced budget cuts, and Emily's job was precarious in the post-pandemic economy. Leaving the office, Emily felt a flicker of hope, but reality crashed in when Mark texted. Don't drag this out. Accept or step aside. Fury surged through her. At a family dinner that weekend, hosted by Lisa in the suburbs, the tension was palpable. Around the table, relatives tiptoed around the elephant in the room until Uncle Bob, ever the blunt one, spoke up. Emily, you're a good kid. But Gran was clear. Time to grow up. Sarah, invited against Emily's better judgment, gripped her fork tightly. Grow up? By denying who she is. The room fell silent. Lisa interjected with a pious smile. We're just concerned for her soul, and the family's future. Emily exploded. My soul? What about yours? Hiding behind religion to justify bigotry. She stormed out, Sarah following, leaving the dinner in ruins. Back home the fight spilled over. Why did you bring me? Sarah asked, tears streaming. To prove a point? Emily paced. I thought they'd see how real we are. But deep down she knew it was futile. The family's conditioning ran deep, rooted in generations of Midwestern conservatism, where church and tradition trumped everything. Emily's internal battle intensified. Nights were spent journaling, weighing pros and cons except the money. Security, philanthropy, but at the price of integrity. Refuse. Authenticity, but potential poverty and resentment. What if Sarah left her, tired of the drama? The thought terrified her. A breakthrough came when Emily visited Eleanor's grave. Kneeling in the grass, she whispered, Why, Gran? Did you ever really love me? Memories flooded. Eleanor teaching her to bake, reading bedtime stories, but also the cold shoulder after Emily came out at 18. It's a sin, Eleanor had said, quoting scripture. Yet she never fully cut her off. Inspired, Emily dug through old letters in the attic of the family home, which she had access to as potential heir. She found a diary entry from Eleanor. Emily's choice breaks my heart, but she's my blood. Must guide her back. It was manipulation disguised as love. Emily felt a mix of pity and rage. Meanwhile, Sarah faced her own pressures. Her conservative parents, upon hearing the news, called. This is your chance to end this nonsense, her mother pleaded. Sarah hung up, but the words lingered. What if we fake it? She suggested one evening. Marry a gay friend, get the money, then divorce after 5 years. Emily recoiled. That's fraud. And what about us in the meantime? The idea sparked debate. They researched similar cases online, finding stories of people in sham marriages for immigration or inheritance. But ethically? It gnawed at Emily. Was compromising her morals worth it? The mouthwandao duk weighed heavy. At work, a colleague noticed her distraction. Everything okay? Jake asked. He was gay, married to his partner. Family inheritance drama, she confided. Jake shared his story of being disowned. Don't let them define you. Money isn't everything. His words resonated, but so did the bills piling up. The first major confrontation came at a mediation session Mr. Reynolds arranged. Mark and Lisa attended, pushing for Emily to decide quickly. If you refuse, we'll sue for undue influence, Mark threatened. Emily's lawyer Torres countered. That's baseless. The room erupted in accusations. Lisa tearfully claimed Emily had corrupted the younger cousins by being open about her relationship. Emily stood her ground. My love isn't corruption. Your hate is. But inside, doubt crept in. What if fighting tore the family apart forever? Was preserving some ties worth the sacrifice? As the session ended, Sarah waited outside. How'd it go? Emily sighed. They're digging in. That night they made love for the first time since the funeral, a desperate affirmation of their bond. But afterward, lying in the dark, Emily whispered, "What if I can't do this?" Sarah's silence spoke volumes. The pressure mounted when a local newspaper caught wind of the story, publishing an article. Millionaires will sparks family feud over lesbian heir. Comments online ranged from supportive to vicious, amplifying the social stigma. Emily's phone buzzed with hate messages, while allies reached out. The public scrutiny added another layer of torment. In a moment of weakness, Emily considered accepting. She imagined a life of ease, donating to causes, but without Sarah's touch, her laugh. No, she thought, shaking it off. But the seed grew. Weeks turned into months, the deadline looming like a guillotine. Emily and Sarah's relationship strained under the weight. Small arguments escalated. Over money, family, the future. You're obsessed with this, Sarah accused one night after Emily spent hours researching legal loopholes. And you're not. Emily shot back. They slept in separate rooms, the distance growing. Emily sought therapy, a neutral space to unpack her turmoil. Dr. Patel listened patiently. This isn't just about money. It's about validation from your grandmother. Emily nodded, tears flowing. She was my rock, but she never accepted me. Sessions revealed deep-seated abandonment issues from her parents' death, making Eleanor's conditional love a fresh wound. Meanwhile, Mark escalated. He hired a private investigator, digging into Emily's life. Photos of her and Sarah at Pride events surfaced in an anonymous email to the family. Proof she's unfit, it read. Lisa used it to rally relatives, organizing a prayer circle for Emily's redemption. The betrayal stung, family turning on her like this. Sarah's school became a battleground too. Parents complained about her influence, citing the news article. The principal pulled her in. We support you, but keep personal matters private. Sarah felt muzzled. Her passion for teaching dimmed. This is affecting everything, she told Emily. We need to decide. In a pivotal moment, Emily met with Mr. Reynolds privately. Is there any way out? She asked. He hesitated. Your grandmother added a codicil. If you prove you've changed, the condition waives. Proof. Therapy certificates, a public announcement? Felt degrading. Inspired by anger, Emily organized a family meeting at the old house. Everyone came, expecting capitulation. Instead, she laid it out. This will destroy us all. Gran was wrong. Mark scoffed. Wrong? She built this family. Debates raged. Tradition versus progress, love versus duty. Lisa admitted privately, I envy your courage, but I can't support it. A crack in the facade. But the real shock came when Aunt Clara revealed a secret. Eleanor had a female friend in her youth. She suppressed it, regretted it. Emily's world tilted. Gran was hypocritical? It explained the intensity of her disapproval, projected self-hate. Armed with this, Emily confronted the family. Gran lived a lie. I won't. Mark stormed out, but Lisa lingered, thoughtful. The revelation sowed doubt, but didn't resolve the inheritance. Sarah, sensing Emily's wavering, proposed a break. I love you, but this is toxic. Emily panicked. Don't leave me. They reconciled, but the damage lingered. Emily realized the true cost. Not just money, but relationships fraying. Social pressures amplified. Friends divided. Some urged her to take the money and subvert from within, others to walk away proudly. Online forums debated her selfishness. The noise drowned her inner voice. A turning point. Emily attended a support group for LGBTQ individuals facing family rejection. Stories of loss and triumph inspired her. One woman shared losing an inheritance but gaining freedom. "Worth it," she said. Back home, Emily drafted a letter to the family. "I refuse the condition. Divide the estate." But she didn't send it. Instead, she explored the sham marriage idea deeper, contacting a gay acquaintance, Tom. "I do it for you," he said. Platonic, legal. The plan. Marry, inherit, divorce later, donate proceeds. Ethically murky but tempting. Sarah reluctantly agreed. "If it secures our future." They plotted in secret but guilt gnawed. Was this betrayal of self? The climax built when Mark discovered the plan through a leaked email. He confronted Emily at her office. "Fraud? I'll expose you." The standoff was intense. "Do it," Emily challenged. "Show the world your hate." Mark backed down, but the threat hung. That night Emily broke, sobbing to Sarah, "I can't lie. It's not us." They decided against it, choosing integrity over wealth. With the decision made, relief washed over Emily, but consequences followed swiftly. Mr. Reynolds notified the family. Emily forfeited. The estate would be split. Mark and Lisa celebrated, but Emily felt liberated. "We did the right thing," Sarah affirmed. Yet, freedom came with hardship. They downsized their apartment, cut luxuries. Sarah's job stabilized, but dreams of the community center faded. Emily threw herself into activism, volunteering at LGBTQ centers, channeling pain into purpose. Family ties severed. Mark stopped speaking to her. Lisa sent occasional guilty texts. Aunt Clara, however, reached out. "I'm proud of you." Eleanor would be too, eventually. It was a small olive branch but meaningful. Emily's internal healing progressed in therapy. She forgave Eleanor, understanding her as a product of her time. "She loved imperfectly," Dr. Patel said. Emily wrote a memoir outline, turning trauma into story. But twists emerged. A month later, Mr. Reynolds called. "There's another codicil. If you refuse the condition, you get a smaller trust, unconditional." Emily gasped. Gran had a backup plan? It was enough for a down payment on a home, seed money for the center. Not millions, but something. Why? The letter attached. "If you choose yourself, you've learned the lesson. Be happy." Eleanor's tough love had a safety net. Emily laughed through tears. Hypocritical but touching. Sharing with Sarah, they celebrated. "She knew me better than I thought." The money helped launch the center, named after Eleanor, with a twist. Eleanor Harper LGBTQ Haven. Reconciliation attempts followed. Lisa visited the center's opening. "I was wrong," she admitted. Seeing this, "It's good." Mark stayed distant, but his wife sent a donation. Socially, the story inspired others. Emily spoke at events, her journey resonating. "Choosing love over legacy," headlines read. But scars remained. Trust issues, lingering doubt. Sarah proposed one evening, ring in hand. "Marry me for us." Emily said yes, their wedding a joyous affair with chosen family. Yet not all was resolved. Cousin came out seeking advice. Emily mentored her, paying it forward. The cycle broke slowly. As years passed, Emily reflected on the costs. Emotional toll, family rifts, but gains in self-worth. The center thrived, helping hundreds. One day, visiting Eleanor's grave, Emily whispered, "Thank you for forcing me to choose me." The center became Emily's legacy, a beacon in Chicago for those navigating similar storms. She and Sarah built a life there, counseling youth, hosting events. But echoes of the past lingered. When a young woman shared a story mirroring hers, conditional inheritance, family pressure, Emily advised, "Weigh the price on your soul." Mark eventually reached out, after his daughter questioned the family's stance. "I regret my part," he said over coffee. Reconciliation was tentative but real. Lisa joined, attending Pride with her kids. Change came incrementally. Emily's memoir, Inherited Shadows, hit shelves sparking debates on legacy and love. Reviews praised its raw honesty, critiquing societal norms. Sarah's pregnancy via IVF brought joy, but also new fears. Would history repeat? They vowed to raise their child in acceptance. Reflecting, Emily pondered the mouthwan. Eleanor's will as catalyst for growth. Damage done but awakening achieved. In quiet moments, Emily questioned, was it all worth it? The pain, the choices? But life moved forward, a testament to resilience. Was Eleanor's conditional love a form of cruelty, or a misguided path to empowerment?